You know what? It's been a minute since I've last posted a video, and it's also been a minute since I've last played Aliens Dark Descent, and now that it kind of got its new game plus, other additions, a lot of bug fixes, and you know, it's been a generally long time, I think it might be worth looking at the game, well, now. Aliens Dark Descent is a small squad-based tactic game, but taking place in real time, counteractive to its other part being XCOM where it's turn-based. This game, the action is happening, you make your decisions right then and there. In Aliens Dark Descent, you have a squad of Marines. You basically play as an LT from above, giving commands to the squad leader, which then the squad leader will distribute the commands to his team, which is actually very realistic. It's called chain of command in real life. And, seeing the squad work, it's actually done very well by the books. Okay, before I go nerding out on that, I should probably talk more about the game, huh? The base idea of this game is that the USS Otago has fallen onto Lead, a moon-like planet. This was due to a quarantine protocol because of the xenomorphs. It is your goal as Administrator Hayes to get all the levels done, find the sergeant's daughter, and get off the planet. So it's up to you to lead a small squad, and hopefully they get enough experience, and you get enough experience to get them through all the levels. But let's talk about that experience. Aliens Dark Descent has a unique feature with the Marines. Now, the Marines come with all their own little negative sides. For example, I had a machine gunner with bad luck that made it so he earned less XP, which kind of sucked. But the worst thing about this is when you're trying to push your squad through, dwindling on supplies, health, all that stuff, there's one extra factor. Actually, two of them. The longer you are in a level, the more pissed off the Xenos get. So if you keep fighting every Xeno you run into, it's gonna become exponentially harder, causing massive onslaught waves, even boss level xenomorphs. But that's not the worst. The worst part is the stress. Your Marines' vital signs will start to spike up whenever there's a firefight, xenomorphs in particular, or due to certain negative traits like pyrophobia, their stress level will increase. When their stress level increases enough, it'll hit a threshold, and it can do it 3 times. Every time it hits a threshold, certain stats like accuracy, even causing them to shoot way more and miss more shots. And it can get real fucking bad. And this is not just a one and done situation. If you do not take care of your soldiers, you will not be able to deploy them for the next mission. Or certain cases, I've had playthroughs disappear because, well, all my Marines are too stressed out. The only way you can actually effectively combat stress is by sleeping in a closet. I wish I was joking. No, that's the way you reduce stress. Who knew that sleeping on a planet with a bunch of xenomorphs that can go through vents, sleeping in a closet was very comfy. You know, I can't say shit because I slept in a Humvee for 15 days straight. Fuck, that sucked. Now, just like a real-life squad, each soldier kind of has their own specialty, but in this game, it's to classes. You have sergeants, you have gunners, you have medics, you have recons, you have techers. All these classes do their job really well, and each of them kind of attribute to a different aspect of the squad. The sergeants actually keep the morale of the squad very good. Plus, I mean, the gunner just dismembers xenomorphs. That's a win-win. So when an engagement happens, you have a variety of actions you can do. Based on what your team's equipment is, their specialties are, you can choose to do certain actions, but you only have so many of the command points to use them. Like throwing a flare takes a command point, and right off the bat, you only have 4, which may seem like a lot, but when a massive onslaught happens, you want to use your suppressive fire, you want to use a shotgun, you want to use a grenade launcher, you want to use another flare. You will run out real quick, and that's the whole sergeant's deal. That's why the sergeant's my personal, second favorite. Yes, the gunner's just there because Vasquez, but the sergeant does their job really well. Give credit to the medic though, he does write me profiles so I don't have to do ACFT, so woo woo. So how difficult is this game? This game, oh shit. Games like this are difficult, but especially when they're unoptimized, it just makes the whole process harder. Now, while the game has had plenty of fixes, the new game plus, which is amazing, allowing you to use your soldiers for your previous playthrough, this game still is difficult, and there's plenty of times where I seriously had to consider what method I was doing. Not just that, trying to find a good corner, or do I want to stay on the move? Like, hey, if I stay in the corner, I'll be able to hold off a better defense, but I still have a main objective to get to. Will I spend more supplies holding the corner, or going to the objective? And by far, one of my favorite parts of this game, while being that, the whole decision making, the best piece of fan service I've seen in any game. Now, the hardest level, in my personal opinion, is Refinery. It's a bunch of close quarters with Xenos that have acid for blood, and trust me, there's no chance to like engage them before they get to you. And even throughout this level, you'll find a couple people that are hyped up that you have to carry and then use a pistol. It is miserable. But when you get about 3/4 way through the Refinery, you find one of my personal all-time favorite vehicles from any media, the APC. Now, just for reference, the original APC you're using to deploy your squad has a cute little double minigun. You know, it's good, it carries 4 Marines. This one has double minigun, a giant cannon, and allows you to add another soldier to take with you into the level, which means more sentries, more ammo, more abilities, and more opportunity. And the introduction of it is, oh, it's just so good, especially if you've seen the original Aliens movie. So here's the question, is the game worth getting today just because of what it is? Well, I do wish there was a lot more replayability. If you can get it on a good deal, I would heavily incentivize it. It is a game that really does cause you to think, not just on the surface level of health, but also stress, supplies, and, well, how aggressive the hive is being. And on one last thing, I do want to say, this game has one of my favorite character designs, which is the Chosen Cultist. I mean, the idea of putting cryo and like nitrogen in your body to stop the chest burster from bursting out and becoming invisible to the xenomorphs, the design is awesome. And if I'm gonna get back from deployment, this is a cosplay I want to do. So I have a question for you. What do you like about this game, and do you in general want to see more from it in the developers? Oh, and are any of you guys hyped for the new Aliens movie coming out?